Hi friends, welcome to WebChamp. In this video, I'm going to discuss what is a SSIS. So SQL Server Integration Service, what it means, and how you can start the working with SSIS. We will discuss in this video. So it is a data integration and a workflow automation tool that comes by default, or that comes with the SQL Server. So if you are using a SQL Server, you will be able to use this features. And what it does, it provides the capabilities to handle the data migration, data transformation, data cleansing operations, cleansing and transformations, meaning pivoting, unpivoting, data filtering, data sorting. Then using the, if you are familiar with the Excel, left, right, meets. So to clean the data, to meet your analysis need, you can perform all those kinds of things here in the SSIS. Okay. At the time of, meaning while enabling the automation of workflow and processes, any kind of process you can automate, mean data flow process. Okay. That is what the it means. Integration can, meaning integration service, what it can do, it can perform the ETL operation, extract and transform the data from wide variety of sources. So from Excel or flat files or XML data files or relational databases, and then load the data. That's why we can say that it is used to perform the ETL task. Okay. Load the data into the one or more destination. This is what you can do using SSIS. So integration services includes a rich set of built-in task and transformations, graphical tool for building a packages. Obviously, you need to create a packages and then you need to run this. And SSIS catalog database to store, run, and manages the packages. So we will see how we can use SSIS and all, catalog and all. So here, what you can do is you can use the graphical interface or graphical integration service tool to create the solution without writing a single line of code. So this is again like the way query, we have a query editor. Similarly, we have the same kind of interface, but it works a little bit differently. And you can also program the extensive integration service object model, meaning you can create the, or you can add the extension by using the programming like C# and code to custom code task and other package objects. Okay. So here, how to install SSIS? Okay, when you are installing the SQL Server, what you can do is you can simply, in the feature selection, you can select this. Okay. So this is integration services. You can even select scale out master, scale out worker. That is even fine. I have not selected that, but you can select. Okay, so we will discuss what is this scale out master, scale out worker, and how it is going to help us in our coming videos. Right. So once you install the SQL Server with the SSIS, what you need to do is you need to install the SQL Server Integration Service project in the Visual Studio to create the packages. Okay. So here, if I open the SSMS, and if I connect to the SQL Server, okay. So let's wait until it gets open. Okay, I'm going to connect with this database engine. This is fine. So here, once I install that integration service catalog, here you will be able to see this window, right? Then this will again come. Okay, you need to set up this SQL Server agent. So this is fine. So here, integration services catalog, you will see the option. There will not be anything, it will be a blank. Okay, so this is what I created later. So if you want to create a catalog, what you need to do is you need to right click and then create a catalog. So I already created, so it is not giving me the option to create a catalog. Okay, so catalog is already created. Catalog is nothing but the kind of database, right? Then what we need to do is we need to install the SQL Server data tools. So if you go to the Visual Studio, okay, so I'm opening this Visual Studio without any code. Then if I come to the extension, I will say manage extension and I will search here for the SSIS. Okay. Then what you need to do is you need to install this SQL Server Integration Services project. Then if you want to install SSIS analysis service project, you need to install. This is what I already installed. That's why it is showing install. Otherwise, you can go and you can click install from here. Similarly, you can install for the SSRS also. Okay, not roaming. So let me SSRS. There is nothing installed. Okay. So new version. So this is not going to work. You may need to install this. You will get a link to download. Okay, new vision RS. This is what we don't need. So I will say reporting service. Okay. So here also you will get an option. Okay, this is what you need to install. This is what I have installed on my system. That's why it is showing installed. Right. So this is the way you can install the data tools. Once you install the data tools, you need to restart your system and then start creating a project. Okay. So we are done with the installation. Then obviously what you need to do is you need to create a package here. So what I will do, I will go to the new project. I will select. Okay, this window will come here. Obviously, we have installed integration services, and if you have not started your system, you will not see this integration service project option. Okay, so I will select this first one. Then I will say next integration service. This is what my project name demo. Right. So if you want to place solution and project in the same directory, you can place. Otherwise it will create different, but it is better to have a different directory. I will say create. It shows location, project name, everything is fine. So this is how SQL Server Integration project will be created, and this is your designer. Okay, so this is your designer. So what is the SSIS designer? Once you create the project, you will be able to see a window here. You can add the components for the or task for the control flow, task for the data flow, then parameters you can create. You can add the event handlers and then package explorer. Right. Then connection manager is there. All the things are there. You will be able to see. The SSIS designer is a graphical tool that you can use to create and maintain the integration service packages. Okay, in one project you can create multiple packages. That is fine. Then SSIS Designer is available in SQL Server data tools as a part of integration service project. That's what we saw, right? How to install it. So you can use SSIS Designer to perform the following tasks: constructing the control flow in package, constructing the data flow in package, adding event handler, viewing the package content. That's what I was saying about talking about the package explorer. Then at a runtime, view the execution process of the package. This is what you can do in the designer. Obviously, integration service include the additional dialog boxes and windows for adding functionality to packages, and SQL Server data tools provide the dialog boxes and windows for the configuring development environment and working with the packages. So by the starting or start of using this, you will get to know what kind of additional features are there. So still, now, this is the summary I'm giving here. So Solution Explorer, what is the Solution Explorer? Here you will see in this, this is the Solution Explorer. So in the Solution Explorer, lists projects. Okay, I mean, you will see the list of projects that include the integration service projects in which you develop integration services package and project files. Okay. Then if you want to sort by the name, meaning see here what you will do, you will create the multiple packages. If you want to sort by the name, you can right click on the package. So what instruction it gives? To sort by the name package contained in the project SSIS package node, right? This is the package node. Okay, so I don't have multiple, that's why maybe it is not showing, but if you right click, you will see the option to sort it by the names. Then toolbox window lists the control flow, data flow. So this is here you can see the control flow, data flow, parameter, event handler, package explorer, all this comes under the toolbox window. Then properties window list object properties. Then format menu provide the options for sizing and aligning controls in packages. Okay, so there could be a format menu. This is not a format. You may needs to go to the view, and then from here we need to figure out where is the format menu. Right. Then we will have edit menu provide the copy paste functionality for copying objects on the design surface. So that is fine. So if you add anything here, we can just copy and paste, that will work. Okay, so in view menu provide the option for modifying the graphical representation of object in SSIS designer. So this is our view menu. Okay, so here we can modify the graphical representation of objects in SSIS designer, meaning if you go to the view, so what you want to add, or here let's say solution explorer, I don't want to see, I can disable this. Okay, then again I go to this view, and then I can add this. So like this we can have. So similarly we can find the format menu also somewhere. Okay, it may be referring to something else, but this is what our requirement to create the SSIS package. Right. So here what you can do is, so let's say I would like to create a data flow, I would like to create a control flow. So you have to, meaning from this SSIS toolbox, okay, SSIS toolbox, you are supposed to bring the activity here. So let me say other sources. Okay. So here and other destinations. Okay. This is these are the destination, these are the sources. Let's say I would like to connect with the Excel file. I can simply drag that. Okay. No data flow. First, what I need to do is, okay, data flow task we need to add. Okay. So if I come here, so this is what my first I have added the data flow. Now, if I come here, so data flow task is there. So now you can add the source and then destination. Okay, this is my source, and let's say SQL Server or OLEDB destination I will pick. Okay, so this is what the task I can bring on the designer, right? Then once, meaning I can create the connection between these two by using this arrow. So this arrow indicates just a flow of execution of tasks, right? So this is how package can be created. We can add the connections, and all. We will see how to add the connection and all. So what is the part of SSIS designer? We will see. So control flow tab, we saw that, data flow tab, then parameter tab. So all these tabs are here: control flow, data flow, parameter, then event handler, package explorer, event handler, package explorer. Then once you run the package, okay, once you run the package, you will be able to see progress or execution result tab. That will be a command line. Then connection manager area. Okay, so here we have a connection manager area. So what you can do, you can add the connections to this So if I right click here and if I say new connection, okay, see it will show you the different types of connectors. I will say Excel, and let me pick this Excel file. Okay, then Excel version you can select. Okay, so it is fine. So I will say first row has column headers. You can select or deselect this as per the data. So this is what my connection, Excel connection. So I will name this as a, or there is a way, okay, to rename it sales data. Okay, this is what my connection name. Then if I come to this Excel source, if I right click, so here it will automatically pick the Excel connection manager, whatever the connections. If you have multiple, it will not pick, it will just give the list of all those. You can pick the appropriate one. Then table or view, you can select, and then sheet name, okay, it will load. So this is what the sheet name. Then if you want to preview, you can preview, I will say, and done. So your connection is done for this task. Similarly, you can add the connection for this task also. So we will see how we can do that. Okay, but in the connection manager area, you can manage the connections. Then what is the control flow tab? Okay, use the control flow tab of SSIS designer to build the control flow in an integration service packages. Okay. To create a control flow by dragging graphical objects that represent the SSIS task and container from the toolbox. Okay. So if you go to this control flow, your toolbox will get changed, right? So it shows the different types of tasks. So if you want to send email from the SMTP, you will be able to do. Then you can add the data flow, you can execute the SQL task. So lots of tasks you can, then you can use the for each or for loop container or sequence container. Then other tasks are there. Okay, so many tasks are there. We will go one by one through the all these tasks. Okay, but you can add those tasks here, right? Or we can say activity also. That is fine. Then connecting the objects by dragging the connectors on an object to another object. So here if I add multiple objects, meaning data flow I have added. Once this data flow execution gets finished, I would like to execute the SQL task. This is fine. Then I would like to, let's say, execute this for loop control. So we can have the flow here in this way. Okay. Additionally, what you can do, each connecting line represent a precedent constraint that specifies the order in which the task or container runs. Additionally, what you can do, you can use the SSIS designer to add the following functionality from the control tab. Implement logging, create package configuration, sign the package with the certificate, manage variables, add annotation, and configure the breakpoint. So all those things you can do from the control flow tab. Okay. Now next is data flow tab. Okay. If I come to the data flow tab, so we already added two tasks here. One is Excel source and another one is OLEDB destination. So use the data flow tab of SSIS designer to create the data flow in an integration service package. Okay. So inside one package, we can create control flow. We can create the data flow. Okay. Data flow can be used inside the control flow. Create the data flow by dragging the graphical objects that represent the source, then transformations and destination from the toolbox to the design surface of the data flow tab, and then connecting objects to create the path that determines the sequence in which transformations run. Right. So the way I shown, we can connect the, so this is the source, this is a destination. In between, let's say I would like to add the transformations. I may want to perform the pivot, unpivot of this data. So I can say this will be the next activity, this will be the next after the unpivoting, my data should go and sit inside the OLEDB destination. So this is what the sequence I can define to run the transformations, right? Then what we can do is we can right click on the path, and then we can add the data viewer also. Okay, so here if I add, and okay, let me, okay, and right, so here you can see that enable data viewer. So this will just it will just enable you to view the data at this stage. Then you can also use the SSIS designer to add the following functionality from the data flow tab: manage variables and add annotations. So you can add the annotations. Okay. What is mean by annotation? You will be just able to add the comment here. Okay. This is data flow for the demo. Okay. You can add the information about the each transformation and the purpose, so that you will remember why this task has been created and why this sequence in this order. Okay, so you can define many, just this is like a comment in the programming. Annotation: variables are used to store the values, and that can be used in the packages. Okay, so we will see that. Okay, to add these functions in SSIS designer, right click on the design surface and then select the option you want, right? So even here if I click, add annotation is there, variable option is there, so I can create the variable and all. Another window is getting opened for the variable. This is fine. Even in the parameter also we can do the same, right? Then event handler tab. So there is something called event handler, meaning when your packages let's say hits the error. So what you want to do, you can define here. So what there are different types of events. So on error, on information, on post execution, post validation, pre execution. So what you want to do, you will be able to. This is like you can relate this with the triggers, right? On delete, on before. So kind of things are there, but here we have a lots of options, so we will be able to do this. So let's understand what is the event handler. It is used to build the control flow in an integration service package. And event handler runs in response to an event raised by the package. Obviously, it should raise some kind of meaning the execution is finished, or uh, if it might throw some error. So on error, what you want to do, you can define that by using the event handler tab. At the runtime, executables, package, and for each loop, for loop, sequence, or task host container raise events. For example, on error event is raised when an error occurs. So you can create a custom event handler for these events to extend the package functionality and make packages easier to manage at a runtime. So why we need to add the event handler? So that your package should not get disturbed. It should not be it should not get stuck, okay, at the time of execution. If any event happen, it should perform the appropriate task. That's what we can do. Event handler can perform the tasks such as following: clean up temporary data storage when package or task finishing running, retrieve system information to assess the resource availability before a package run, refresh data in table when a lookup in a reference table fails, send an email message when an error or warning occurs when a task fails. So these kind of things we can handle using the event handler. Then you will have the more options like executables, event handler, and then delete. So, okay, so what is the executable? Select the executables for for which you want to build an event handler. So on error is, I think, the executable. The executable can be the package or task or the container in the package for which you want to build an event handler. Okay. Then event handler. Okay. So here our select a type of event handler. Create a event handler by dragging items from the tool. So executable is nothing. Okay. So it is asking about the package selection. That's what it means by the executable. Okay. Then select an event handler and remove it from the package by clicking on delete. Okay. So what simply you can, I have not added anything. So let's say package you can select. Okay. So executables, event handler, so data flow task. So on which executable, execute SQL tasks and a for loop container. So this is whatever the task you have added is nothing but executable here. Right, and you can simply just to create, or if you want to delete this, you will be able to delete by simply clicking on this delete button. You will be able to delete the event handler. Package Explorer. Okay, so this is a Solution Explorer. If I go to the Package Explorer, you will be able to see connection manager. So all these things are you will be able to see here also in the Solution Explorer. Then it provides the log, then it will give you the information about the executable, then precedence constraints, it shows then parameters, events and variables. You will be able to view everything in the Package Explorer. This is a snippet of Solution Explorer. Same things you will be able to see here also. Then progress tab. Once you run the package, you will be able to see this kind of window. This will show you the at what time the package has started, what time it has finished, and then how much time it has taken to complete the package. So this is the kind of information you will be able to see on the progress tab. Okay, then error, if is there any error, it will show the information about that error. Then connection manager area. So we saw how we can use the connection manager area. Okay. So if I come here, so in this area, you can add the connections. Then advanced editor. Okay. So where to get or how to get the advanced editor? Use the advanced editor dialog box to configure the properties for the selected integration project object. Okay. Integration project object. If I select this and right click, okay. So here I'm not getting the option, but yes, what kind of options you will see. So integration service data flow objects have properties that can be set at the component level, input and output level, or input and output column level. The advanced editor enumerates all the common and custom properties of the selected object and display them up on four for following five tabs. Okay, so in the data flow, if I go right, select the task, and then if I click on this show advanced editor. Okay, so this is the advanced editor. So it shows the connection manager, then component properties, then it will show the column mapping, input and output properties, right? So this is how it works, and you will be able to use the advanced editor also to edit the properties. Okay. So input output properties, use this tab to set input and output properties, and to add or remove the output, select or remove the columns for input output, and set properties for the input output. So you will be able to select the input output, meaning you will be able to manage the columns, component mapping. Okay, so if I right click here, so I'm able to delete the out column, the columns from output and all. So the things you can manage using the advanced editor also. So this is all about the SSIS. So what you can do in SSIS, this is what we have discussed, but how to do, we will discuss in our next video. So do not forget to subscribe webchamp. I hope you like the content of this video. Thank you so much for watching the video. Have a nice day.